office. Oh, there we go.
Hello. G'day everyone, it's Jill, also known as GeniAus. Who's fronting up for another GeniAus Hangout on air after quite a long break. I've been tripping around the world for the last 10 weeks, having lots of fun, and now I'm getting back into it until Mr. GeniAus and I take off again. So while I've been away, I'm sure that quite a few things have happened in the Genia world. I have been trying to keep up, but foreign sites and places I never visit again took precedence over family history. Now, I've got a couple of panellists here today who I'm going to ask to share any news, news of new resources they may have found, or news of new websites or resources, news regarding their societies and what they're up to, news regarding any personal achievements, or any achievements they've noted that other genealogists have had. Let's shine a light on them if we can. Now, we're a bit thin on the ground as far as panellists go, but I've got the lovely Lillian from Bankstown and Les from Queensland, so I'm going to get them to say good evening. I'll go to Lillian first. Hi, Lillian.
Hello, Jill. Hello, Les. How are you both going?
I'm well, thanks.
I'm fantastic.
That's good. Lovely to hear.
All right.
Lovely to see you both.
Fantastic. And Les, it's time for your hello.
Yeah, hi everyone. It's Les here in Brisbane and having a great time. Nice to see Jill and everyone back. And I'm sure you've got several SD cards full of photos and lots of memories as well.
Oh yes, we've got over 100 gigabytes worth of photos,
Nice.
so we've got a few. We went through a few SD cards, so yes, lots of memories. So that's wonderful. Lots of family stories for future people if they're interested. Now, Les, you're a student, and
Yes, that's right,
I
Jill.
presume you've had your nose to the grindstone lately. I'm wondering what you've been studying, any new resources you may have come across in the course of your studies. What subjects are you doing this semester? Is it a semester?
Yeah, it's just one big long continuous semester when you do it online.
Oh, is it? Right. Yes.
But I've just completed one. Actually, one of the Australian subjects that Kerry Farmer's done on local history societies and organisations within Australia.
Right.
A very good module for you gaining local knowledge and an appreciation of all of the dozens and dozens of societies around the country and the type of work and some of the specialist areas in particular that they do. It was just amazing. I never knew half of these societies, or never knew 3/4 of these societies even existed.
Were there any quirky sort of societies?
I mean, sometimes they seem to come and go by the look of it. There were quite a few whose websites were no longer functioning. But in the main, Kerry's, I think she updated this particular module either late 2012 or early 2013, and the vast majority of the societies were still there, live on the net. And I mean, obviously there's all types in terms of setup and what's available, whether it's free or whether it's fee based or subscription based. But the really good thing with them is that obviously if you have any research to be done in those particular areas, it's always best to ask the local. They're the ones who have the intimate knowledge, often straight off the top of their head, about particular people or particular topics within their geographical area.
Yeah, just to clarify for those people who don't know what you're studying, this course, we in Sydney know Kerry Farmer very well, but this course is under the auspices of the National Institute of Genealogical Studies. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, that's
And
correct. The National Institute of Genealogical Studies, based out of Toronto, in Canada, and it's an organisation that offers many different subjects for not only Australia but also England, obviously Canada and the USA, Ireland, several other countries, where you can do a particular module of your choosing, or in my case, where I've enrolled in a course which is contains 40 different modules.
40.
40 modules focusing on Australia, and along with all of the Australian subjects, I've also be doing about a dozen or so English subjects and several general subjects, and that's all with a view to getting a qualification for a professional genealogist, or one that a professional genealogist might have.
Oh, that's great. So coming back to this subject you've just done, Les, as a result of it, have you joined any societies that you found?
Well, funnily enough, I'm going along to the inaugural meeting and greeting tomorrow with the Queensland Family Historical Society at Gaythorne in Brisbane, and I have attended a couple of their presentations, which have been very good. But the Queensland Society, their particular office is about 20 minutes drive from where I live, so it's fairly close and handy. And I'm hoping to gain a lot from that. They've been going for many years, and I'm hoping to be able to get a good insight for what they offer tomorrow.
Okay, so you're joining up that society. That's good. Oh, we've got someone else here. Hi, Geordie.
Hi, how are you going?
Oh, Geordie's fine, thanks. Geordie's just getting set up. I just might introduce everyone. I'll leave you for a minute, Geordie, while you just get your microphone all organised and come back to you.
Thank you. Okay.
We might just get you to mute your microphone just for a minute. That's good. Just while he's sorry, Les, but I saw someone else come in and I was so excited. So, were there any societies whose websites you thought, any of the societies you looked at, who thought their websites were really stunning that other people could learn from?
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me or not. I can see Geordie coming through there. There were a couple, particularly in your area, Jill, in New South Wales.
Oh yeah. I'm putting you on the spot, I know.
There that focuses on Sydney. Sort of.
Oh. Don't worry, you might come back to it. I'll take you off the hook for a minute. Yeah, and I'll take you off the hook for a minute, and I might just go across to Lillian.
Sure.
So
Lillian, you've been really busy.
Well, I'm actually doing what Les is doing as well with the study, and I did that one that you did, Les, and it's absolutely fantastic. But I've just finished paleography, which is ancient handwriting, which has been fun.
And so
it's one of those ones we've got to do.
Yeah. I might just go back to Geordie and see if I can get him sorted. Okay. Geordie, can you hear me? I think you've got some background noise, Geordie. I think we've lost him. Never mind. Sorry, Lillian. So paleography, is that right?
Yeah.
What is it?
That one today. That's been good. Yeah. But no.
You did the same one as Les. And what did you learn from that one?
all the different societies. I've done a few of the Australian ones that Kerry's done.
Yeah.
Records and that sort of thing. But poor Kerry, I don't know if you know, she's been quite ill.
Yes, she's not well. Yes.
No, poor darling.
Yeah, and
yeah.
So you've launched into paleography now.
Yeah, that's one of the ones we have to do before we go on to our areas. So it's there's things like methodology and skills and analysis, and there was one about family search, but they've taken that out and put another one in. Just a few other different ones, but it's been good. So, but no, I mean, I've been enjoying it.
Oh, that's good.
Fitting it in around everything else.
Yes. Yes. Now tell me, this is different from NIGS, but I've been trying to catch up on my reading, and I just noticed a few things about the writing group at SAG that I know you're quite involved in. Would you like to tell us what's happening with the writing group? Yeah,
well, it's once a month, the second Tuesday of the month. Next month, 10th, I think it's the 10th of July, I can't see my calendar. Ralph Hawkins is going to talk about the primary records, their photos and things like that for us. We've got another one on a Saturday about by an editor. She came at the start of the year with what an editor wants, and it was so popular they're doing it on a Saturday. This month's one that's just gone was quotations. Oh, it was a really funny little title, but italics and brackets and where to put them and where not to put them and commas, and it was really good. I'm going to do copyright in October with them.
Right. Have you done a CAL course, a copyright agency limited course?
No, I'm going into the Australian Copyright Council one in September. They've got a big one coming up.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
There we go. I'm back.
She goes.
Working with copyright on the 1st to 3rd of September.
Right.
At the Christie Conference Centre.
That should be of interest to lots of people.
It looks like it should be. It's got a wide range of topics. I'm going to do copyright essentials, and I think it's clearing copyright, but they've got using online technologies with the copyright for that too.
Yes, that's a bit of a minefield. Yeah.
Yes.
Looks great. I was always naughty when I worked. I used to always send my staff along to those and tell them they had to know about it. Because
why not?
Copyright. But with copyright, I think when in doubt, don't. I think is probably a good mantra.
Yes.
Now, another hat. I know you were instrumental in setting up that writing group, or you were one of the early people. So you're a bit of a mover and a shaker. There's something else you've started up, and I'm just wondering how it's been going over the last 11 weeks since I've heard. Tell us about what it is.
Well, it's the Bankstown Family History Group. We have our incorporation, we have our insurance, our constitution, and we now have a home. In May, we were able to use the room for the first time in the Bankstown Knowledge and Library Centre. So we've got our little room up there, and Jenny Madden, who's the local history librarian, gave us a tour of the family history room in the library. This month, we had our second meeting in the room, and we used the data projector, where we looked at plugs and went, not going to fit this computer, and my computer wouldn't work unless I turned the screen off and operated it by that. So when I was trying to type, I had to watch the keyboard and then look up, oh yeah, I'm typing right. But we were showing different family tree programs that we use. I use Brothers Keeper. There was Family Tree Maker. A chap actually showed his hand-drawn family tree that he's actually going to get embroidered.
Oh, Lord.
It's massive, you know. And we're thinking, wow, this is going to be incredible. And today I received a lovely letter. We're trying to get a patron. And back in April, I approached our mayor and heard nothing. Heard nothing in May. Heard nothing in and the first meeting in June. So I rang. Oh, haven't you got a reply? And I said, no. A lovely letter today, except our offer to be our patron. So we're really pleased. We're also waiting to see whether we've got any grants. We applied for the club grants back in April. That's a slow process, so we're just waiting to see now if we've got any.
Fantastic.
But we're going well. We've got about 30 financial members, so it's going really, really well.
That's fantastic. I just take my hat off to you for
Thank you.
Getting going. It's really wonderful. Now, I don't know if you've heard much about it, Lillian. Les probably hasn't. Les, a yes or no will do as an answer to this question. Have you heard about the new LifeLink site, Les, that's going to be launched on Monday? And I'm very happy if you say no.
I don't think so. No. Good.
No, that's good. Lillian's probably heard about it.
I heard a bit about it.
I'm going to tell you. Lillian, have you heard about it?
Yeah, I did. Yeah. Alan Murren rang the other night about something and we mentioned it because he and Joy are going to come and talk in August at the meeting.
Right.
But, they're concerned in the fact of costings and how it's going to affect them. Being transcription agents.
Well, yeah. For those people who don't know, LifeLink, the new online portal for New South Wales births, deaths and marriages, is going to launch in the morning next Monday. I haven't been able to find a URL in all my scratching around, apart from the registry's general URL. But the things it says it's going to do, we're going to be able to search from one search screen. So we've no details on how we'll do it, but I imagine instead of having births and deaths open and marriages open, we'll be able to just use one screen to search for all of those things. The exciting thing, well, as a revenue raiser for them, the exciting thing is that people will be able to order online and have PDFs of their documents sent to them. So I imagine that some people with the immediacy of that might get carried away. But it's been a very clunky database, hasn't it, Lillian?
Yes.
Or clunky search for quite a number of years, and lots of people have complained about not being able to use wildcards anymore and not being able to use parts of names and things. So hopefully this is going to be something super. So Monday morning we may all crash the website.
Exactly.
Have faith. You'll have faith.
Of the New South Wales Registry, but it's really nice to see it coming online with something better, and hopefully providing us with certificates. There's nothing worse than having to wait.
Yeah, so long as they keep it free to search, not like Victoria,
yes.
where you put your search, and you pay to view the results. If they start doing that, we'll all get grumpy.
We will get grumpy, that's for sure. Yeah. Just from the few pointers I read on a fuzzy screenshot that Michelle Nichols had shared a screenshot, and there wasn't anything about having to pay, but there's no details about payment at all, so I'm wondering if there'll be a hike in the price of certificates. I'm wondering if maybe they'll have uncertified certificates, as some places have, for a lesser price, and that could affect the transcription agents, I imagine, if they have two levels of certificate, a registered sort of one or just a transcription-y type one. So there you go, Les. If you've got any cousins or dead cousins in New South Wales, it should be easier to
I've got lots of
find
live cousins in New South Wales. all my family relations are in New South Wales.
Oh, right. Okay, well, we don't know the URL, but I suppose there'll be something on the registry site. From Monday morning, we can all go and explore. So that's something new that I hooked onto that's going to happen. Lillian, have you got any news about anything that might be happening that I missed out on while I was away?
No, not really. Oh, the conference down in Wollongong in September.
Yes.
The chap that Lazarus somebody or other who thought that there was a mass grave of Aussie diggers in Fromelles, he's going to be the speaker on the Sunday.
Right.
Because he said in 1988, 98, 89, something like that, that he thought there was this mass grave, and it took until quite a few years later before they actually got around digging it up and finding them. So.
Yeah. Oh, that's a bit of a draw card. I haven't made any bookings, but I guess I'll be travelling down there. Is your society going to be having a table?
I don't know. I did say to Louise I'd help out if they were going to put a table up if Kerry couldn't, but she hasn't got back to me yet. Bankstown Family History isn't big enough yet to do that.
Yeah. Well, I've been away, but I believe our society, the Karingai Historical Society, is going to have a table for the first time. So that's rather good. I think it's a great opportunity for societies that have got a reasonable membership to actually get out there and let people know what they're doing, and if they've got any publications, to peddle their publications. So that's the society for our state is going to be on this September. There's something more exciting happening before September, and I might ask you if you're doing anything for that in a minute. Something that I wanted to share about my trip overseas was my visit to Kew. I didn't do much family history, but I did go to the National Archives in Kew one day, and I'd done a bit of homework before I went with their catalogue, and while I was there, actually Audrey Collins, who's a family history records specialist or whatever, is a mate of mine. She met me in the foyer, and I was having a bit of chat to her, and I said, I'm surprised there's quite a bit in your catalogue that wasn't there before. I've been able to put personal names in it and come back with quite a few hits. And Audrey explained to me that they're having a really big push to make the records more accessible rather than just having the, series descriptions. They're actually getting into the records and cataloguing, with as many personal names and etc. as they can, or moving as fast as they can. Now I'm just trying to remember how to share my screen, and I didn't practice. Never mind. So anyhow, I went to Discovery, which is the catalogue for the National Archives, and I found where to share my screen, and I'm just going to bring that up. And I've got a convict called John Tucker, who came from Datchet in the UK. I've been lucky enough to visit Datchet on prior occasions and to see the building in which the family had a butcher shop. It's still standing there in this lovely town just outside of Windsor. Anyway, so one of the searches I had done was for Tucker Datchet. I just thought, well, let's see if there's any mentions of the family. So this is the Discovery catalogue. It's discovery.nationalarchives.gov.uk. And search UI, but I don't think you need to put that in. So I just bunged the keywords Tucker Datchet in, and away I went, and look at what I've got. Prisoner name, John Tucker. Now this was something new for me. And so I clicked on here. It told me it was something or other, a plea for clemency. And there we go. Prisoner, it's a court, and that's his date of trial. What this was, it's a record that hasn't been digitised, so I had to request the record. It was a petition from his father, William Tucker, asking for leniency on behalf of his son. And it was really lovely. It was a little parchment document folded over in 3. I should have put a photo of it on the computer before tonight. I didn't think. Obviously, he didn't write it. It had been written by someone whose writing, Lillian, was very easy to read, so I didn't need to do your course on paleography. But just reading this document was just lovely. It just talked about, of course, what a hard-working man he was, and his son had only strayed this once, and, you know, they were real family people. But it confirmed for me that William Tucker, who was my convict's father, actually had 10 children, and I'm lucky enough to have found details of those 10 children. It confirmed to me that he was alive when his son was convicted. It confirmed for me that, you know, I sort of had the right family. It confirmed that William was a butcher. So it was just wonderful. And 38 people in the village had actually signed this petition for clemency as well. So now I have to do a bit of homework and research the people from the village. But it was just a super thing to hold and to find. So I don't know if you've used Discovery. If I wanted to, and I was in Australia, I could easily order a copy of this and they'd digitise it and send it to me for a price. But I wasn't, you know, wanting to do that. I was lucky enough to be there. Now, while I was there, something else I found. I'll do another search.
Did you happen to tag that record, Jill? No,
I didn't. But I can. There's social, there's social media functions in the on the catalogue, so you can actually get in there. Have you done that, Les, at all?
Yeah, I obviously registered on the National Archives site.
Yeah.
And it's sort of similar to Trove and several other places around the world where you can tag a particular record and it just makes the searches happen. You know, whether it's a public tag or your own private tag.
Private.
And you can keep track of everything that you've researched and whatever in the National Archives, in a very condensed sort of format. It just makes it so much quicker if you need to get back there again.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure as I was logged in as me, so I'm sure all my past. I'm not here from home at the moment, but I'm sure those searches have probably all been saved. But you can add annotations, etc., which is really good. Now, my other person, hang on, I need to go back to my screen there. I've always wondered. Well, we had 2 people who jumped ship. They were in the Navy before World War I broke out. One was my husband's grandfather, and family legend said that he jumped ship in Africa and made his way to Australia, but I didn't have any documentary evidence. Anyhow, I did a search for him, and lo and behold, the family story was right. He had jumped ship in Africa, but I got his naval record card, and that was a digital record, so I was able to confirm when he jumped, where he jumped, what ship he jumped, etc. So that was really good. The other one was from my grandmother's first husband, who was killed in the World War, but he had jumped ship and made his way to Cobar, and we didn't know where he jumped ship or whatever. So I typed in Bert. I'd been searching for him for ages under his full name, John Bertram Chatfield, and hadn't had any luck. And I thought, I'll have a go with Bert and see what happens. So I had a go with Bert, and lo and behold, this was him. Now, because I'm here in Australia, I would have to pay £3.30, approximately $6, to download this record. But because I was in the National Archives, I was actually able to download it onto my other little laptop for nothing. So now I know where Bert ran, as the naval record said, and when he ran. So he he escaped in 1912 in Melbourne, and they caught up with him. And then a few months later, he then took off again in Sydney. And no wonder he went to Cobar, because I'm sure the Royal Navy weren't going to chase him way out to Cobar, which is in the far west of New South Wales. But the beauty of this, for anyone who's lucky enough to go to the National Archives, is that you can find a whole lot of things have been digitised, and instead of having to cough up your £3.30, you can download them. So I'm considering doing a one-name study, but I just, I'm not sure. But while I was there, I downloaded every digital record related to that surname. So it's a very unusual surname. So I just popped that in the search engine, and away I went. download. So it's really
right.
Probably wouldn't cover your airfare, but it's still pretty good. I need to unscreen share. Am I? Yeah, I'm back, aren't I?
Was your ancestor on board the ship during any of the census, Jill?
No. Well, I haven't been able to find, but I haven't been looking for Bert. I've been looking for John Bertram, so I can go back and.
I found one of mine who was on board. I think it was about 1890 census or 1880 census. I just can't remember off the top of my head. But the beauty of that is that the government gave the Royal Navy their census books, and on census day or night, the idea was that the ship would then fill out everyone on the ship, and on the front page of that particular census book, it has where the ship was. So it could have been in the middle of the Atlantic, the Pacific, wherever, latitude, longitude, and it's just it's a nice bit of additional information that while they were sailing through the Caribbean, it's census night, and record their name.
Yeah, well, I must say, just for others who may be ignorant, like I knew that there were a lot of wills digitised, but I didn't realise that the breadth of records that had been digitised at the National Archives. So that was a bit of a surprise, but it was lovely to find out the things that I did discover in the Discovery catalogue. So if you are looking for some people in the UK, have a look at Discovery, and it's probably worth spending £3.30 if there's a record there that may help you. It's a lot cheaper than the aeroplane ride, but so that's good. Now, Lillian, anything else you want to share with us about what you've learned? Any books you've purchased lately?
I read the one by Mark Tedeschi. Now, it was in Cassie reviewed it in Inside History. Eugenie, that's quite an interesting book. Mark did tend to get a bit bogged down with the legal side of things, but it was quite interesting in how this man, or woman, man, managed to keep his sexual identity actually hidden from his two wives, and he did sort of kill the woman, and then he lived his life out as a woman, but he was actually hit by a bus and killed. It's very, it was a tragic ending to what had happened, but that was quite an interesting read. And Pests, Prostitutes, the Wild Women of Fremantle was another one I read. It was quite an interesting book too. That's what the ladies got up to.
Yeah, really family history, isn't it? Yeah. I must say that we visited lots of museums while we were away, and there's a lot of same as you look at museum exhibitions, but the Museum of Liverpool Life. That's not the exact name of the institution. Anyhow, it's in Liverpool in the UK. and had really wonderful exhibitions, interactive and fairly new and well described. There was a wonderful one on the Beatles, because that's why we went to Liverpool, but they had this amazing exhibition on transgender people, because there was a top model from Liverpool, I can't remember her name, who was transgender, and she actually, well, it was a he, she was a he, and she had surgery and she became a man, and then they were getting a divorce, and when she was getting the divorce she couldn't get the divorce because the marriage was declared null and void, etc. But it was a wonderful exhibition because it was just had the history of transgender people and the medical side of it, the legal side of it, from the 19th century through to the present. So it was really amazing. Off topic for family history, but if anyone's going to Liverpool, it's worth going, seeing that the museum, because it's so good, and that particular exhibition if it stays up. But I should get back to family history things. I digress. I'm a great fan of online learning, and I think you two are as well. I've noted that the Royal Australian Historical Society are having some webinars. You have to pay, which is no good for a cheapskate like me, but I did actually participate in their very first webinar, and I just thought family historians might like to know that if they go to the Royal Australian Historical Society website, they can get details of their program of webinars. If you're a Mac person, and I'm not a Mac person, the next webinar is to do something to do with movie making and some sort of Mac software. So that's off the topic of history and family history, but something that's really important to skill oneself. Lillian, have you done any webinars or any online
I've done webinars
sort of
through SAG.
things lately? Yeah.
They've been really good, and I did do one with RAHS. And tomorrow I'm actually doing their panel with about place names.
Oh,
so,
right, yeah.
Yeah, so that should be quite interesting. And then 5th of next month I'm doing Flip Pal Scanner with Carol Riley down at SAG.
Oh, I could do it for you for free.
Flip Pal Scanner. No, webinars are good fun. SAG's had a few hiccups with theirs the last couple where we've had picture but no sound, or we've had sound but no or things have been running late. But no, I find webinars really good. Really, really good.
Yeah. No, well, interestingly, one of the first things Audrey said to me after she'd accosted me in the foyer of the National Archives in Kew, Audrey Collins said, "Oh, I did a webinar for SAG." I said, "Oh, good. I don't know if you've attended that one," but she found it quite a worthwhile experience from doing it from England, and I think she's getting herself lined up to do more. So that's good. Well, Les, do you take part in it? Oh, go on, Lillian.
I did one with sorry, Les. I did one with Cora Num, the Cora's Web. And that was quite good with SAG. Yeah. Sorry, Les.
You're right. I haven't attended any paying webinars as such, but I have. I've actually been delivering a couple of presentations in the flesh at our local library near where I live, and who have a small historical group, and. So I've been sharing a bit of my newly gained knowledge with some of the locals, so to speak.
Good.
Which they've.
So what are your topics?
I did a brief overview on English occupations and apprenticeships, and linked it back to why might you be chasing an apprentice indenture, which you can get from the National Archives site. I might add, I got a couple from there for free.
For free, not £3.30.
Yeah, no, there's a few there that can be had.
Is that because they're Find My Past?
No.
Because some of them have been advertised in association with Find My past.
Yes, with our partner family history agencies, as they call them. But
Yeah.
no, these were middle 17th century apprentice indentures. And there's a very good site from Leicester University who have a very good website for things to do with occupations and all of the worshipful guild of goldsmiths or clockmakers or bloody saddle makers or whatever. They're all over the place. But Leicester University's got a very good website. I did one on occupations and another one on just actually searching and using the National Archives website and the sorts of things that you can do there. If you know where to look and what sort of keywords to use in your searches. And the sort of results you can get from those. But just going back for a minute there, Jill, with one of those websites that I did find some very interesting information on with Kerry Farmer's module was one on Women of Vision, and it's an index and history of nuns and sisters in Australia.
That's one I use, yes.
And the reason I was after that is I have a great grand aunt who lived and was born in Singleton in the late it'd be 1890s or something like that, or 1880s. And we never could find out much about her other than the fact that she died as a nun in Auckland in New Zealand. And anyway, through another contact on Ancestry, another family relative, we did some searching around and via this website found...
You have to download actually a spreadsheet, don't you?
Yeah, and she, so we got that sort of information which told us the order that she belonged to, and then my friend then actually wrote a real letter to the archivist for that particular order of nuns, who very graciously replied and said, she actually came to Auckland on this date and time. She taught for 10 years and then she died of whatever in Auckland. But the fact that we had a date, then we went to, I think it's Papers Past.
Papers Past, yes.
There was no record as such when you search the ship, but I thought, hang on, let's go to the shipping intelligence, and bingo, there it was. This ship, and funnily enough, there's 5 nuns, and one of them's named Tobin. Excellent, got it.
Fantastic. That's a great example of things.
A good little bit of detective work.
Yeah. I just want to say hello to Caitlin Gow, the young genealogist from Queensland.
Oh, yes.
She's actually she's watching and listening while she's studying for her uni exam tomorrow. And she's also very keen for LifeLink. We all are, Caitlin. Dave Robertson has said he can't see the link to join. I've told him where to find it, so I hope he manages to. It'd be nice to say hello. But yeah, that's great. An example of a tenacious researcher, I think, is Sian White. I don't know if you know Sian. She's a lady from New South Wales who's actually going to be a TV star soon. She's went to Norfolk Island recently to with I forget his name, some doctor, someone or other from Great Britain, and she's been filmed in an excerpt for a TV program there, talking about her convict ancestor Lawrence Frayne, who I think is her 3 times great uncle. Sian has been chasing the Fraynes. I think Michael was the how many ever times grandfather, and Lawrence, his brother, was the uncle. She wrote a blog post yesterday on her blog, which is called Family Convictions. It is one of the longest blog posts I have ever read. It was very well researched. Sian had discovered under lock and key in the Mitchell Library a diary that Lawrence had written about his time as a convict in the penal colony on Norfolk Island, plus numerous other documents about this chap. And I just suggest if you do a Google search for family convictions and put Frayne, F-R-A-Y-N-E, in Google, you'll come up with this post. It is just an excellent piece of writing and demonstrative of someone who's, you know, like that dog with a bone, who's tenacious, who won't give up. Sian is going to blog more about this chap. I look forward to seeing her when she graces our screens. But I just think it's a wonderful piece of writing, and I just wanted to do a bit of a call out about it so that people who don't know might go and have a look at it. Have you read any good blog posts lately, Lillian? You blog a bit, don't you?
I blog a little bit, Jill. I'm not as prolific as you are, and I read yours. I read Helen Smith's. She does some good blogs, and Chez's.
Yes.
Yes. But I've also got a blog now on the website with the Bankstown Family History Group. So I blog about the meeting, or like now we've got the Patreon, I blog about that, or like if I go online on Monday and get this life links up, because I got an email from the Federation saying that this was going to happen. So I send it out to all the members in the group on the email list, and you know, Monday if I go and have a look at it, I'll do a bit of a blog and let them know what's going on. I'm trying to get them to go to the blog rather than rely on me to either email or Facebook. I thought, you know, we've got to use the website. Yes. So, but other than that, I just blog what I've been up to. I put some photos up. We were up the Hunter Valley the other week, and I just put some photos up of what we were doing. That was about all. Yeah. But I'm a guest speaker on Tuesday night.
Oh, where at? Some people might like to come along.
Well, Canterbury Historical Society.
Yes.
It's at Belmore.
Right.
Yes, I got invited way back in February when we started the group, but I'm sort of, you know, now it's June and I'm going, right, it's my turn. But the lady
what's your topic?
Sorry?
What's your topic?
I'm going to talk a little bit about why I've been to genealogy, how I started the group. Then I'm going to talk about Nurse Schwartzel. She's a local a local character in this area as the local midwife, and how she went around with horse and cart and things like that. And we've got a fountain in front of the library dedicated to her, or a monument, but it's got a fountain that they tend to fill up with soap suds. But yes, and the lady that organises, thank you, that organises their guest speakers is going to be our guest speaker, and she's going to talk about, I think it's English pensioner records in October.
Oh, that's good. Oh, tit for tat. That's good.
Yes.
Yeah, well, lovely. Oh, so Les has been doing some speaking. You're doing some speaking. I'm actually doing my first whole-day workshop, which is going to be a bit of a challenge. But anyway, I'm travelling up to Wyong in Family History Month, which is coming up in August. And I'm doing a whole-day workshop on modern genealogy, I suppose you'd call it. I'm doing a session on Google, and I can't remember what else I'm doing, but I got a note yesterday saying they may be moving it to a larger venue, so that sounds good. A few more butterflies for the tummy before I go. So is your society doing anything for Family History Month, Lillian?
We've got Joy and Alan Murren coming on our Tuesday night to do a talk about BDMs. Yeah. Other than that, we haven't sort of got anything really organised.
Yeah. Well,
hopefully for next year we will.
Yeah. I was really excited. I don't know if people have gone to the Family History Month website, but I encourage you to, and have a look at all the things that have been organised. I find it a bit funny that they're organised by postcode. I prefer them organised chronologically, but once I get my head around it, I can go up and down. And also, if you're on Facebook, the coordinator for Family History Month, National Family History Month, is Shauna. She does this, Shauna Hicks. She does it in a voluntary capacity. Does so much work for it. At the Facebook page is edging towards 1,000 likes, and Shauna would be absolutely over the moon if she thought that she could get that magic 1,000 by National Family History Month. So if you're on Facebook, just put National Family History Month into your search and go over and like the site, like the Facebook page. That'll give Shauna a real buzz. Yes, Lillian?
I think I'm on that site because I keep getting updates. Oh, look what we've done for this group, and look what we've done for that group. So it is really good. Yes.
Yeah. And I don't know, like Les and Lillian, you've got so much spare time. I actually emailed one of the local libraries, so must have been about January, and they better remain nameless. Anyway, saying, National Family History Month's coming up, and I'm trying to help Shauna, blah, 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 blah. If they'd like me to come along and do a talk, I would. I didn't hear anything until I was away in May, and I got a response, yes, they'd like me to come along. So that's good. We've set a date. We haven't set a topic yet. So you could, if you know somewhere, like a library that's got a room or something, it'd be really nice to get behind Shauna and National Family History Month and offer your services. So we're all going to be very busy then. Now, I have listened to a few recorded Hangouts on air this week, just to try and get back into the swing of things. And I mentioned earlier that I was a panellist yesterday on, these things make my glasses crooked, on Dear Myrtle's Wacky Wednesday Hangout on air, in which she and Russ Worthington talked about using Google Drive for family history. And I was quite surprised because, in America there's a lot more people watch the Hangout, so there was a lot more conversation happening in the chat while the Hangout was going on, and I was quite surprised that people didn't seem to know that much about Google Drive. So that was a really good session. If you don't know much about Google Drive, not you Lillian and you Les, but people in general, might be worthwhile heading over to YouTube and having a look at Dear Myrtle's video. She's been doing lots lately. She's been doing some about Roots Magic, which doesn't interest me, but she's been doing, as well as hour-long ones, she's been doing little sort of 5 to 10 to 15-minute things that explain various technologies. I don't know. Have you ever watched any of Dear Myrtle's, Les, or are you aware of those?
I have watched a couple of Dear Myrtles, and in fact, she actually added me as one of her friends the other day on Google Plus. But amongst her other thousands, I guess, that she would have. But
yes, I think so.
She always puts over a very good session on whatever topic.
Yeah. So I don't know what you use. Do you use Google Drive at all and Google Docs for your genealogy, or?
No, I don't.
Because we all have different tools we use. You don't,
I'm still a little bit old-fashioned. I back up regularly, my laptop that I normally use to a desk hard drive. But most of my hard copy documents, because I've been doing it so long, a lot of my research is actually in hard copy from days when you actually handwrote letters. So they're sitting behind me in a 4-drawer filing cabinet, filed away under alphabetical names, etc. But one thing I have actually started to digitise is all of the books, particularly the Australiana books that I acquire or buy. I've actually going through the index of those.
Oh,
and,
right, yeah.
So just make a little database, plug a name in, plug the title of the book and the page or whatever as per the index, and then if at some stage in the future in research or whatever, I can search that little database and perhaps find people who are mentioned in books.
Yeah.
Whereas you couldn't possibly remember that. But no, look, I'm not a big fan of online storage of data at this point in time.
I'm not either.
I'm sorry, but I
can understand that.
I think it's a bit blatant.
Well, with Ancestry going this week, certainly. I mean, I've got a couple of these that are terabytes. I've been into the on Discovery. You can get one that's full.
You're breaking up. You're breaking up, Jill.
With these that back everything up. Is that better now?
No, well, I can hear your audio, but your video is frozen.
Oh, don't worry about the video. You don't need to look at me.
No, well, I don't back up online either.
Well, what I thought, but what I find, especially when I've been travelling, I've found like my Evernote and my Google Drive just so handy, because I could use my phone to, those documents I wanted to, my phone when I'm out and about to amend things. So that's where I find, those sort of services very useful. But I thought a future topic I might do for Hangout would be Google Drive for genealogy. So maybe you can come along and listen.
Sure.
All Hangouts we did was on Evernote. I think you were an Evernote user, Liz, aren't you? No? You're not?
No,
Lillian, are you an Evernote user?
I've got it on the iPad, but I don't really use it that
was
much.
Just the most No, it was a fantastic hangout, and I got so many ideas from it. Anyhow, my new phone that I got before I went away, it's from the market in Bangkok, came with Evernote Professional, so I've moved up to Professional now, and I'm using Evernote quite a bit more. So that's just a postscript from one of our earlier Hangouts. We've got about 2 minutes to go, and we seem to have prattled on. I hope that we've... Caitlin's just saying it's good that National Family History Month is getting a plug, so yes.
Your audio is still a little bit broken there too, Jill.
It's saying Jill's joined the call.
I'm back.
You're back.
I'm back.
Yeah. Now, what I do with my documents is I scan... Sorry. What I do with my documents, the certificates and things like that, is I scan them and attach them to the person in my family tree program. And if I'm out and want to know, something, if I've got the laptop there, I just bring it up and have the document there as well.
I'm back.
I think you're breaking up.
Yeah, I'm back in time to say goodbye. I want to say thank you to Lillian and thank you to Liz, and we'll call it a wrap. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Jill. Bye.
Night, Liz.
Bye.
Night, Lillian.